Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here as we get ready for the season finale of the 4th season of the NRSL Reese's Rally Car Series. Get ready to kick things off here as we finish out the season at the season finale Baja Rally, an over 12-mile rally course track, which has a little bit of street course, a little bit of marshlands, a little bit of mountainous region, a little bit of forest region, as you can see, a little bit of a desert stage as well. Certainly going to be a wild one as we get ready to crown our 4th champion of this series. Last week's race at Island Rally, our last power stage race of the season, certainly shuffled it up and put us into a pretty interesting scenario coming into this race. 5 drivers are mathematically eligible to walk away with the championship at the conclusion of today's timed event. Those drivers include J Hamill, Wade Brummer. Those two are 2-time winners this season. Jonathan Zoerlein, Mitchell Collins, and A Garcia. They all come in with a mathematical chance of winning today's championship. Now, obviously, we're going to be keeping you guys abreast of the point scenarios during the course of this race, but let's take a look and see where those 5 drivers are starting off today's event here from Baja Rally, and 2 of them are starting right on the front row, J Hamill and Mitchell Collins. Hamill comes in the points leader. Collins comes into this race 14 points back. So we'll see if that starting track position is going to help them both out. Jonathan Zoerlein starting not too far back as well. They're in the 4th position as he comes into this race 3rd in the standings, 13 points out of the top spot. So that means where are drivers like Wade Brummer and A Garcia? Well, Wade Brummer is going to be starting back from the 26th position. We'll see if he can survive the carnage and get up towards the front. And the one that's really going to have to do a lot of work today, and that's A Garcia. The long shot coming to this race starts 31st, and he is a driver that comes into this race points-wise in a must-win scenario. So he's got a lot of work to do here today. Maybe pit strategy will work out, and then again as well, this track is so treacherous around every corner, maybe his other 4 competitors will run into issues here today. Let's go down trackside and get those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
And last week, for the first time in about 3 weeks, I think since Watkins Glen, we saw a change for the points lead with J Hamill taking the points lead over. And the reason why it's really important that J Hamill took the points lead over, there is the possibility all 5 of our championship competitors could end up finishing this race outside of the top 10 in points, and none of them get points at whatsoever. So that would mean that the highest in the point standings of those 5 would end up getting the championship. So with J Hamill coming in P1, that definitely gives him a bit of an advantage, and maybe they'll be able to work out some strategy here today as well during the course of this race, which it takes them about roughly 8 minutes to get around this track. So with that being said, we could very well see this be only a 4-lap race, since this track is over 12 miles in length. Damage is set to moderate, by the way, as well, so if you see drivers flipping over or something and them able to continue, that is going to be the reason why. Reason being, not going to have drivers all DNFing due to a lot of the jumps and stuff that take place here that can really affect a car with realistic damage, so we're doing moderate damage. So, the things that drivers here are shooting for as far as finishing position here today. Obviously, J Hamill wants to finish ahead of all of his competitors. That's his main goal. Wade Brummer, he has to finish at least 4th here today to take the championship. Jonathan Zoerlein needs to finish at least 3rd, so too does Mitchell Collins. And as we mentioned, A Garcia, he needs to win here today in order to even have a mathematical shot of winning today's championship. It's going to be a very interesting first couple of laps here, especially with 3 of your championship competitors starting up inside of the top 4. 2 on the front row, and then 1 of them back there on the technically outside of row 2. And of course, all these other drivers, they want to just finish out the season with a victory. They don't care about the championship. Saw M McIntire last week pick up his first win of the season and his first points of the season as he took the checker flag at Island Rally. 1 driver comes into this race still needing to get points, and he's rolling off from 3rd position, that yellow car of Alexander Rose. So we'll see if he can complete it with all 37 drivers getting points this season, or will he be the one lone driver out that does not get any points whatsoever during the course of the year. Here you see the transition from the desert course onto the street course, and this is where we're going to be coming down to the start-finish line in just a mere moment. So the question is, are these drivers going to take and complete 30 minutes before the conclusion of the 3rd lap? Because if we end up having it on the 4th lap, then we will run a 5th lap as our white flag lap. So we'll see. And of course, as well, I should mention too that in most races, the pit road frequency has been 2x. It's only 1x here today, but that doesn't necessarily mean these drivers are going to be able to make it the entire 30 minutes on one tank of fuel. So that could be a factor as well. As here we go, green flag is in the air, and we are racing here in the season finale at Baja Rally. Into the desert course here. I've actually run this track online before, and it is a lot of fun. As Derek Hamill's going to get away with the lead, at least for now. They're getting all single file. Collins into second, Zoerlein to third. This driver's going to be a little bit careful going through this corner, and then they go up this uphill section where they almost literally crawl. Got some passing zones that are going to be coming up here very shortly, as that's J Jefferson peeking out of line there. Oh, look at this. Collins makes a move to driver's left. Might try and go around the outside here. Got a little bit more acceleration on the uphill portion of the course. And this is going to be a battle for the race lead between these two. There's no points for leading a lap. This is one of the toughest jumps right here. Looks like they get through it safely. Take a look at this flyby camera as they come through the desert section. Everybody's settling it out single file. This is one of the slower portions of the course. Now we're going to start getting into a little bit more of a flatter, straighter ground, and this is where you're going to start to see the speeds really pick up. Jonathan Zoerlein on the back bumper of Mitchell Collins. This is for second. Across the bridge. Now we get into the, I guess you could call it a forest-like section. It's more of just like an off-road country section. See the field start to get spread out here through these portions of the course. Those that have remember back when we ran a Hershey's Cup Series race here will remember this track very well. And it looks like Zoerlein is going to clear. He will get the second spot. So Zoerlein right now passing Mitchell Collins. That would put him currently, I think, second in points to Derek Hamill. Now these two need to have the race leader run into some issues. Derek Hamill out in front. You got to wonder if maybe pit road might be a place where Derek Hamill could end up losing the championship. Comes into this race 11 points over Wade Brummer. So that gives him a little bit of a cushion, and he basically just needs to finish inside of the top 10. That's his main goal here today, to get himself some points. And the battle for second is on again. Ooh, this is definitely a fun portion right there where they come off that corner. And I love that right there, that little jump through the water. Collins is going to get second place back from Jonathan Zoerlein. Going to drop back here, see if we can find our other two competitors, Wade Brummer and Adam Garcia. There is Brummer back here in traffic. Garcia started near the rear of the field, and he's still kind of back there. There he is, just ahead of Dylan Poteet, just behind Chris Dollerton, who had a little bit of problems going through that section, and LaPlante gets spun around in the river section, and I think we got a spin up here, or something happened. Something happened with Jessica Shelton and Carter Friesen. They might have spun out or something, and everybody had to slow up, and that's going to really hinder Wade Brummer and Adam Garcia as well. Getting up to one of my favorite parts here. This is the mountainous region. Someone just got off course. That's Dylan Young. Keeps it going, though. I want to jump up here to our race leaders because, oh, wait a minute. What happened? Zoerlein got the lead. What happened to Hamill? Hamill and Collins must have messed up the corner, too, because they lost some spots. Zoerlein goes to the lead. A couple of Ford Focuses 1-2 as J Jefferson moves into second. Now, Hamill only fell back to fourth, and Collins only fell back to fifth, so they're still up inside the top 10. Jefferson needs them both to fall outside of the top 10. Now, you might not see it, but right here off to the left, there is actually a drop-down area. You mess up a corner here, you're going to fall down the mountain. So you can see, being very careful through this section is Jonathan Zoerlein. As not only is his health and well-being on the line, but also a championship here in the Reese's Rally Car Series. And when they get down to the crest of this hill is when we'll get into the desert section right here, which leads into the area that we saw these drivers rolling off the grid at. Takes a little bit of time to get to that portion of the desert section, but that will be the desert section, and then we get back to the street course section, back to the start-finish line. J Jefferson's had some good runs last couple of weeks, as I recall. He comes into this race currently situated in the 33rd position in points, though. He's had 2 top 10s. And I believe, if memory serves me correctly, one of them came 2 weeks ago at the Charlotte Roval. No, it wasn't Charlotte Roval. Where was it? Was it the Glen? No, it was last week, actually. No, it was 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry. It wasn't Montreal, where he finished in 7th place. We fall back here, you see Alexander Rowe under fire for 3rd place from Derek Hamill. Mitchell Collins right there as well, and I have a feeling it's really going to come down between those 3. Zoerlein, Collins, and Hamill. Because as we saw through the dirt course section near where that areas where they have to jump the river, or jump the creek, we saw both Wade Brummer and Adam Garcia get held up there. So I think now their only hope is that maybe they can play out some kind of fuel strategy, maybe stay out if Zoerlein and Hamill and Collins all have to come to pit road at some point during this race. I think that's the only chance they have, but you don't want to run out of fuel here, because if you run out of fuel before you get back to the start-finish line, you'd have anywhere from probably 6 to 12 miles to try and traverse as your car is sputtering. I don't think you'd be able to make it back to pit road. I think if you run out of fuel after you cross the start-finish line, you're basically stranded. Your day is done. Zoerlein continuing to lead. I bet right now he probably would hope that this was a series where you get points for leading a lap, because it looks like he'll actually lead this lap, and if that were the case, then he would only be 12 points behind Derek Hamill rather than 13. As things stand right now, let's take a look at what the live points would look like between the top 3. With where Zoerlein is running right now, where Hamill is running right now, and Collins is running right now. Hamill is running in 4th, and Collins is running in 5th. Alright, so let me do some calculations here real quick. So Zoerlein, right now, would be the recipient of 25 points. Hamill would be the recipient of 12 points, and Collins would be the recipient of 10 points. Compare that to the number of points they were behind coming into this race. Let's see, Zoerlein. Well, actually, let me just do the calculations in my head here real quick, instead of trying to mathematically say it out loud. So let's see, Zoerlein, 59 points, add on 25 points, would have 84 points. Hamill, add on 12 points. Oh my goodness, according to this right now, if Zoerlein and Hamill finish where they're at, they're tied with 84 points apiece. Mitchell Collins would have 71 points. So right now he would be, oh actually, wait, hold on. No, Collins would have 68 points, my apologies. So right now, Collins is out mathematically. He needs to get up here in 2nd or 1st. So if Hamill loses another spot, and Zoerlein's able to keep the race lead and win this race, he would win the championship. But if the two of them are tied, I don't know what the case would be here. I mean, Hamill would have the advantage probably with most wins, 2, as Zoerlein has none. That might not even be a factor, though, because Jonathan Zoerlein's under fire from J Jefferson for the race lead. And Jefferson's going to take the spot. I don't think these are 2 teammates, but they are both Ford Focuses. Jefferson, however, as I mentioned, you know, everybody else that's on track that's not in the hunt for the championship don't care. They want to just finish out the season with a win. So now with Zoerlein losing that position, he now loses 7 points. And that now puts him back to 77 points, 7 points back from Derek Hamill. Hamill still running in fourth. If Mitchell Collins can pass him, then that would drop Hamill back to 10 points gained in this race rather than 12. That would still have him with 5 points in hand over Jonathan Zoerlein. Zoerlein really needs to get up there and win this race right now. He either needs to win this race or hold where he is and have Hamill drop outside of the top 10. That's the only shot he's got at this current point in time. And the fact that he's running ahead of Mitchell Collins takes Collins out of the championship picture, at least for the moment. Collins has to get up there past the 30 of Jonathan Zoerlein. So right now, it is basically a 7-point gap from Derek Hamill back to Jonathan Zoerlein. That's where your championship battle is right now. And if I recall correctly, both Hamill and Collins messed up that uphill portion of the mountainous section, so if they mess it up again and lose more positions, that could really hinder them. We got a big gap, though, back to 6th place, where you find last week's winner, M McIntire. B Allan right now in 7th. 8th place, Sebastian Cucalon. 9th, J Shelly. Right now, Cole Baker under fire from Julius Anderson. That is a battle for 10th. And the final points of the day, as far as the stage points are concerned. So right now, Derek Hamill's got a little bit of a cushion to work with. He's also looked like closing in on this battle for second between Zoerlein and Alexander Rowe. Rowe trying to get his first points of the year here in the season finale. Make it through that section right there, jumping over the crick. And Zoerlein cannot afford to lose more positions, because every position that he loses is multiple points that he loses to Derek Hamill. I mean, just losing the race lead, he lost 7 points. Dropped from 25 potential points in this race to 18. I don't want to say he's in a must-win situation, but with where Derek Hamill's running right now, he is definitely in a must-win situation. Look at this, through this section. Oh, contact! Derek Hamill got into the back of Alexander Rowe, and Zoerlein is off course. Jonathan Zoerlein off the track. He's going to drop back behind Mitchell Collins and Derek Hamill, all the way back to 5th. M McIntire spins, B Allan spins, Cole Deaver spins, Julius Anderson spins. They're all spinning through this section there. A lot of drivers with some issues. And I think that Alexander Rowe served as Derek Hamill's brakes there, but with Derek Hamill now past Jonathan Zoerlein, now Derek Hamill firmly in control of this championship. It's looking like we are probably going to have a 5-lap race, as I think probably we will be past 15 minutes. Ooh, that was close on the edge there for J Jefferson, but I think we will be past the I'm pretty sure we'll be past 15 minutes left in the session when we hit the line this next time by. I don't think that they're going to get to the start-finish line before 2 minutes. So I think it will very well, yeah, I think we're going to have a 5-lap race. So now we got to talk about Mitchell Collins, with him moving past Jonathan Zoerlein and moving up to 2nd, and Hamill right now back in 4th. What is the gap between those two? They came into this race separated by 14 points, and Zoerlein was only separated by 13 points back to Derek Hamill. So you got to think that this puts Collins at least somewhat into the picture for the championship now between himself and Derek Hamill. Hamill still running in 4th, so he would still be sitting at 84 points. Mitchell Collins now in 2nd. He had 58 points coming into this race. Add on 18, he would be up to 76. So he is, at this point in time, still 8 points back from Derek Hamill. If he got up there and took the lead away from J Jefferson, that would be 7 points he would gain. And that would put him 1 point behind Derek Hamill. So at this point, with the mathematics live, Mitchell Collins has to get up to the race lead, and he needs Derek Hamill to lose at least one position. Hamill, on the other hand, he's trying to pick up a position, couldn't do it, couldn't get by Alexander Rowe. Jonathan Zoerlein got to feel gutted right now, but you can't give up. He's back in 5th place. Matt McIntire, despite spinning, he still hangs on to 6th. Cole Baker picked up a lot of spots there. He, I think, was in 11th, and he moved up now to the 6th position. Or, I'm sorry, 7th, rather. Brooke Allen now in 8th, Julius Anderson 9th, and right now Cole Deaver currently sits in the top 10. This is the best battle on track right now, going on for 3rd place. You saw it was side by side at one point there between Hamill and Rowe. Hamill trying to run Alexander Rowe back down. I think right now for Derek Hamill is just conserve the position he's in. Or not conserve, but preserve the position he's in. Because where he's at right now, Mitchell Collins and Jonathan Zoerlein, they're all having to do the work to try and run him down. All he's got to do is basically keep himself in a position where they mathematically cannot get to him when this race comes to its conclusion. J Jefferson, though, trying to become the 8th different winner on the season. So far, we've had 7 different race winners in the 9 races we've had. Only 2-time winners, Derek Hamill and Wade Brummer. Let's see where Garcia and Brummer are. We got a couple of cars on pit road. Benny Watson and T Wright sitting on pit lane, so they ran into some issues, apparently. Looks like Adam Garcia has picked up some spots. He's up to 27th. But still a long ways from the top 10, and there is Wade Brummer. He crossed the line last time by in 21st. He just lost that spot to Levi McIntire, so now he's back into 22nd position. Z Winkle, Dylan Young, they're fighting for, I believe that is 14th. There's J Shelly. He lost a lot of positions on that uphill section of the mountainous areas. He was 7th. Now he's back to, I believe, 11th place. Johnny Gardner under fire from K Mathews. This is a battle for 12th. These drivers out of the hunt for the championship. They're just trying to finish out the year as best they can. Try and finish out with some stage points. It's a battle here for, I believe this is 6th or 7th. I think it's 7th. Cole Baker, Brooke Allen, and Julius Anderson just behind. Battle for 5th heating up between Jonathan Zoerlein and Matt McIntire. And they are seeming to reel in Derek Hamill, so this could be a battle for 4th. And if Hamill continues to lose spots, that would definitely help out Mitchell Collins, who took the race lead. Collins got around Jefferson. And so Mitchell Collins right now would currently be sitting 1 point behind Derek Hamill, and if Zoerlein and Matt McIntire can pass the 95, that would put Mitchell Collins into the points lead. Matt McIntire now trying to pass Jonathan Zoerlein, now going to pass Derek Hamill. Hamill not able to get up through the gears, and he's really losing spots. That's the one problem with the uphill section, is if you can't get your rear wheels to get any grip, your tires are spinning going up the uphill section, and drivers that are able to get the grip, they pass you by. Matt McIntire and Brooke Allen both passed Derek Hamill. Right now, according to the live point standings, your points leader would be Mitchell Collins, and thusly would be your champion. Still a ways to go in this one, though, as we are nearing the 10-minute mark. So let's see, where did that drop Derek Hamill back to, at least right now? Collins leading, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Zoerlein got around Hamill as well. That drops Hamill back to 6th. And now he's under fire from Cole Baker. Gotta wait until this all settles out, as, ooh, little contact there between Cole Deaver and Julius Anderson. And Hamill loses a spot to Baker. He loses a spot to Anderson. Now under fire from Cole Deaver. Hamill's going to drop back maybe to 10th place. That's where Deaver was scored last. And if he does, that means he's only going to be in line for 1 point. And Collins right now in line for 25 points. So that means that it'd be, what, a 12-point lead that Mitchell Collins would have over Derek Hamill right now? I think that's the case. And he's running ahead of Jonathan Zoerlein. Zoerlein up there inside the top 10. If Derek Hamill falls out of the top 10 and Mitchell Collins runs into trouble, that puts Zoerlein back up into the mix. So this is not over by any stretch of the imagination, because we're still going to have at least 2 more laps to go. I don't know, I think that we're going to have at least over 2 more laps to go, actually, because I don't think they're going to complete this 3rd lap, or at least I don't think Collins will get back to the line before the completion of 10.5 minutes. We got to watch Collins. We're getting close to the section where it's the uphill section of the mountainous area. That's where a lot of drivers have had some issues. Brooke Allen making a pass for 4th on M McIntire. Zoerlein just got bypassed by Cole Baker. That was for, I think, 6th. Now under fire from Julius Anderson. And look at this, Derek Hamill under fire from J Shelly. That would drop him outside of the top 10 in the running order. Is Anderson with an issue there through the creek section. Oh, I don't like the way this looks. Side by side, Brooke Allen, J Jefferson, M McIntire there as well. We're going to jump up here to the mountainous section. Mitchell Collins gets through it pretty well. Overdrove the corner, but got it back onto the racing surface, so Collins is clear. Alexander Rowe in 2nd. He's going to make it through pretty well. Now let's take a look at these 3. Battling for 3rd, Allen, Jefferson, and McIntire. Jefferson cuts it down really hard. He might actually get the spot away from Allen. Not quite. Sliding is M McIntire. He keeps it going. Baker and Zoerlein, though, they got momentum. They're trying to pass him. They got held up. Anderson, Deaver. Oh, wow. Hamill fell back all the way. Wait, where did Hamill go? Oh, Hamill lost even more spots. He's back to like 14th now. He's outside the top 10. Now K Mathews trying to get by J Shelly. Not exactly sure what position that would be for. Maybe 11th, maybe 10th, something like that. Zoerlein's still there. He's lost a spot to M McIntire, though. Right now, Collins would be the leader. Zoerlein would be 1, 2, 3, 4. He'd be 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hamill's back to 13th. So Hamill might very well be having this championship slip from his fingers. Zoerlein has a potential shot, but he's got to get up even closer to Mitchell Collins, who's already in the desert section, while Zoerlein's still on the mountainous downhill. Remember about pit road, though. Pit road is still a place that this could be a factor. And remember, we're on moderate damage, but that doesn't necessarily mean that these drivers going over these bump sections are not getting some kind of possible potential damage on their cars. And if that's the case, if they spend extended time on pit road, that could cost them a lot of time on track. I don't really see any damage on the 96. These drivers have been actually doing pretty well managing going over these bumps. They've been slowing down, making sure that their undercarriages don't get in any way affected and no mechanical problems take place. Last week we saw M McIntire pick up his first points of the season with the Victory at Island Rally. We've got a chance for lightning to strike twice here. Alexander Rowe still with a big goose egg in the points column for him, and he's running in 2nd. So if something happens to Mitchell Collins, Alexander Rowe could make it back-to-back weeks where a driver gets their first points of the season with their first win of the season. But right now, Alexander Rowe doing a great job. Looks like it will be all 37 drivers getting points before the conclusion of the year. And it looks like right now Alexander Rowe is en route to his best finish of the season. Brooke Allen, a great run for her right now in that 3rd position. Haven't really talked about her much this year, and looking really strong in the podium spot. M McIntire trying to follow up his victory last week, running in 4th, Jefferson in 5th, and this is a good battle back here. This is for 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, where you got Cole Baker, Jonathan Zoerlein, Cole Deaver, and Julius Anderson. And right now in that 10th position is J Shelly, but he's got K Mathews and J Gardner right behind him, as well as Dylan Young, our winner from Newbury. Hamill has dropped back even more. He was in 14th. He just lost it to Z Winkle. He lost 15th to Carson Gum. He's back to 16th now. That 95 is dropping like a rock, and now it puts the ball in the court firmly of one Mitchell Collins. Collins is going to, it looks like, according to the time, get back to the start-finish line before we end up having zeros on the clock. So I think we are going to have lap 4 be the white flag lap. I'm sorry, lap 4 be the 2 to go, rather, and then lap 5 be the white flag lap. So they're going to have to make at least 2 more circuits around this track. Mitchell Collins right now with a big lead. And I just noticed I didn't even have the ticker up this whole time. I apologize for that fact. But really, with this big of a course, it doesn't play as much of a factor. The ticker doesn't, just based on the fact that it takes so long for drivers to get around here that I'm able to basically let you know who's in the top 10 before they get around to the start-finish line. But regardless, so Mitchell Collins about to come around here through the steep street course section. And you see 5 minutes still on the clock as Collins crosses the line. So this, I believe, is 2 to go for Mitchell Collins. Alexander Rowe hasn't even gotten around to the start-finish line yet, nor is Brooke Allen. So Mitchell Collins, even if he has a little bit of a struggle getting up the uphill portion of this desert section, I think he'll still have a good enough gap to be able to recover. You can see Alexander Rowe just off in the distance. Let's see what the miles per hour look like here for Collins going uphill. I think the tires are spinning a bit, holding at 70, decreasing speed a little bit there. There's Alexander Rowe just now going through the downhill section, about to reach the uphill section. So Collins looking good right now. And right now, remember, with Derek Hamill falling out of the top 10, with Jonathan Zoerlein back behind Mitchell Collins, Collins right now is in line to take the championship. If my calculations are correct, it would be Jonathan Zoerlein who would be the one that Collins is battling right now, and Collins would have Zoerlein by roughly, what, 20 points, I think? Let's see. Collins right now would be at 83 points. Zoerlein right now would be at 63. So yeah, 20 points. 20 points exactly. And Derek Hamill not even in the conversation. Wade Brummer and Adam Garcia, we saw they got held up. I don't know if Garcia's crossed the line yet. Yeah, he has. Where is he right now? He's in 25th, so he's still picking up spots. Gained 2 spots since the last time we saw him. Derek Hamill dropped all the way back to 20th now. So he's out of it. Wade Brummer's up to 19th. Right now, he would have to be up around 3rd place in order to counter the position currently held by Mitchell Collins, which is your race lead. Battle for 2nd here. Alexander Rowe and Brooke Allen. Brooke Allen coming into this race has 2 top 10s, one of those in the top 5. And I want to say, was it Watkins Glen where she had that top 5? Yeah, it was. That was 4 weeks ago. I don't know where the top 10 was at, the other one. Trying to see if I can find it here. Apparently it was closer to the beginning of the season, and it was an 8th place run at Ice Planet. At this point in time, with the top 10 and a top 5, she has 18 points. She is in a tie for 22nd in the standings coming into this race. Obviously out of the championship picture, but this battle for 2nd, it's still important because of the fact that if something happens to Mitchell Collins further up, this could potentially be the battle for the race lead. Hamill, though, continues to hold the position. I'm going to be interested to see here coming down to this section if Collins makes it through. Collins ran off the course just a little bit. Didn't spin out, though, the last time around. And was able to get it back on track. Let's see how Collins approaches it. Very cautiously. Off the bump. Just off course a little. 2 tires back on the surface. Beautifully done by Mitchell Collins. Brooke Allen was able to get the 2nd spot away from Alexander Rowe. Looks like he had a little bit of a problem there through the creek. M McIntire right there in 4th. Boy, this team turned up the wick last couple of races. Gets his first points of the season and a win last week at Island Rally. Now up in the top 5. How about Cole Deaver? Great run for the 36. Right now in that 5th position, Cole Baker right now would be 6th. Julius Anderson 7th. Kyle Mathews 8th. And right now, In ninth is Jonathan Zoerlein. He's fading back as he's under fire from J Gardner. And then you've also got Dylan Young and J Shelly not too far back. And how about Carson Gum trying to make a last-ditch effort to get up into the top 10 in the finishing results? And you will notice down the bottom right of your screen, as we got a battle now here for second between M McIntire and B Allan, you'll notice that we are getting down to 10 seconds remaining, which means that next time by, it is the white flag lap. So the projection of 5 laps in this race was indeed correct, based off the lap times that they did back in qualifying. Zero's on the clock, so there you go. Next time that Mitchell Collins hits the line, we will be on the white flag lap. Oh, actually, I apologize. I thought B Allan had moved into second and Alexander Rowe had an issue through the creek section. But actually, Rowe got second and B Allan fell back into a battle for third with M McIntire. So that was my mistake. As Collins continues to lead, last time by it was 12 seconds between himself and Alexander Rowe. And now I can't even see Alexander Rowe in the same camera shot. Just now, Alexander Rowe entering into the section where he would have been in the same camera shot with Mitchell Collins. So yeah, a long ways back is the 49. Bear in mind though, as I stated, I don't know what the fuel window is for these drivers, and I almost wonder if they're going to have to come to pit road here on this lap. If they have to pit on this lap, I wonder if someone would be willing to risk it and go around one more time without coming to pit road. I doubt it, but it is a possibility. That extra lap put on there with the fact that this is not the white flag lap, this is the lap where the zeros on the clock happen, so next time by is the white flag. You gotta wonder if that little extra lap is going to play a factor into the outcome of this race. If Mitchell Collins stays out, then that's a moot point. But if he does come to pit road, it's going to make things very, very interesting. And if you're Jonathan Zoerlein, I don't know, do you, if the 96 comes to pit road, do you risk it? There's a championship on the line. It's really the only shot you've got. Do you stay out? I think you do. If you run out of fuel, okay, you run out of fuel. You're in the hunt for the championship. You might as well go for it. Do the opposite of what the driver right now that's in line for the championship does. And if it doesn't work out, okay, at least you could say you tried. Of course, I could be putting all of these theories and conspiracies together, and Mitchell Collins would end up staying out and shoot them all down. You know, it's just basically speculation right now. But you bear the fact that these drivers, when Collins hits the line, she will have gone almost 50 miles so far in this race. So, you know, is that where the fuel window would be for how far these drivers can make it? Collins continuing to lead. B Allan did get second place now, as Alexander Rowe had an issue at some portion of the track. Not only lost second to Brooke, but now loses third to M McIntire, so move him back to fourth. And now maybe under fire from K Deaver, right now in fifth, closing in on these two. Baker in sixth. Mathews now in seventh. Carson Gum in eighth. J Shelly in ninth. And Dylan Young currently would complete your top 10. Jonathan Zoerlein's out of the top 10 now. So I definitely think if Mitchell Collins comes to pit road, you've got to stay out if you're Zoerlein, because right now you're in line to get no points whatsoever. Battle here for fourth, K Deaver and Alexander Rowe. Looks like Deaver's going to get the spot. Can he get him cleared? Yes, he does. I think Alexander Rowe might be saving some fuel, or trying to anyway. Here's going to be the telling tale coming down to the final turn. Does Collins hit pit road? Doesn't look like it. Collins stays out, does not hit the access road. So it is the white flag lap here at Baja Rally. Collins stays out. And now Mitchell Collins just has to traverse a little over 12 miles before picking up his first championship here in the NRSL Reese's Rally Car Series. Started in second to championship contender D Hamill, and kitty corner to fourth place starter Jonathan Zoerlein, who also was a championship competitor. And during the course of this race, Mitchell Collins has just done everything right in terms of approaching corners, in terms of being able to get grip where grip was absolutely necessary, in terms of staying out of trouble, and has over a 30-second gap back to second place B Allan, who just crossed the line moments ago. So Collins, even if there is a fuel issue, he could try saving some fuel here, I think, and still win this race. Derek Hamill fell out of the top 10, dropped like a rock. Jonathan Zoerlein, last time by, was scored in 10th, but I don't think that's where he's going to be scored. And there you see it. Yep, Dylan Young now in 10th. So Zoerlein's out of the top 10. So right now, the only one of our Championship 5 who is in any way in line to get scored any points here in the finishing results is Mitchell Collins, who right now is in position 1. This almost kind of feels like Watkins Glen. We had that power stage race. Wade Brummer came in the points leader, won the race, got the 25 points for the win, the 5 bonus points for winning the power stage race, and then had a huge gap back to second place. That's what this race kind of feels like in terms of Mitchell Collins just dominating out in front. His competition fading back outside of the top 10, and it's going to have a huge points lead to win this championship. Might have been a little overzealous in that corner, almost ran off course. 2 tires were close to getting into the grass. Don't want to get too full of yourself just yet, Mitchell. I mean, there's still some places on this course where Collins could make a mistake and flip over onto his roof and throw away the win. I mean, bear in mind, right now, Hamill's outside of the top 10, Zoerlein's outside of the top 10. If Collins did flip over and did not finish inside of the top 10, that would basically hand the championship over to Derek Hamill, because none of the top 5 competing for the championship would finish in the top 10. Nobody would get points, and Derek Hamill, who came into this race as the points leader, would end up winning the championship by default. So it is still possible that Collins could throw this championship away, which is why I'm saying you don't want to be overzealous going into these corners. You've got over a 30-second gap back to Brooke Allen. Just mind how you enter into these corners, how you exit these corners. Don't force the issue. Brooke Allen's going to get her best career finish of the season here today in the finale, running in second. How about Cole Deaver? Worked his way up into the top 10, then up into the top 5. Right now sits in the 3rd position. M McIntire there in 4th. How about Carson Gum? Boy, those Citroen Xaros have been good here in the closing stages. Deaver and Carson Gum outside the top 10 the last couple of laps ago, and now up inside of the top 5. Cole Baker right now would be in 6th. A good run for that Ford Focus, as well as another Ford Focus and Kyle Mathews in 7th. Alexander Rowe would be back in 8th place. 9th place currently sits James Shelly, and right now that final position is under contest between Jonathan Zoerlein and Johnny Gardner. Dylan Young did have the spot, but he's lost some positions to Johnny Gardner and Julius Anderson and Jonathan Zoerlein. He's now back, I believe, in the 13th position. I don't think Zoerlein, even if he finishes up inside the top 10 here, I don't think he would get second away from Wade Brummer. Well, actually, yeah, he might. He would get 3rd from Wade Brummer. Collins right now would be the points leader. Derek Hamill would be 2nd. Zoerlein, I think if he can get by Shelly, he would be 3rd. Then Brummer 4th, and Garcia would finish out the season 5th. Looks like Shelly was a little bit slow on the exit of the creek section. This is going to be a good battle here. 9th, 10th, 11th is what we're looking at right now. It's a battle for 4th. And Carson Gum will take it. Well, and as soon as I say that, he goes and slides off the course, and he's going to lose 4th back. Gets run to the back up by Cole Baker. That'll at least keep him in 5th. Oh, and Kyle Mathews trying to get by Baker. This is for 6th. And now both those Ford Focuses slow, and Alexander Rowe runs into the back of Cole Baker. He literally just punted Baker into the 6th position. And Alexander Rowe's going to lose spots as a result. Shelly goes by, Zoerlein goes by, and that moves Johnny Gardner into the top 10, I do believe. Deaver's still in 3rd. Allen still in 2nd. As Mitchell Collins just a little ways left to go before he picks up the victory. It will make him the 3rd two-time winner this season, joining Wade Brummer and Derek Hamill, as Collins had the victory earlier on this season at believe it was Ice Planet. Yes, it was. I actually am really surprised with 37 cars, 10 races, all different types of tracks, that we are going to end out the season with 3 drivers winning multiple races this season. And all 3 of them were up in the hunt for the championship coming into this race. Now, obviously, Mitchell Collins was only a 1-time winner coming into this race, but will be exiting as a 2-time winner. And what a way to take a championship by winning the season finale and taking the championship all in one fell swoop, which means there's only going to be one driver out there having to do burnouts for both the win and the championship. Down through the final sections of the course here in the desert section. Down through the area where we saw the cars rolling off of the starting grid. Mitchell Collins. Just has to be smooth. There's not really a whole lot of areas from here to the start-finish line that drivers get themselves into trouble. So Collins has got it pretty much in the bag. Got a downhill section part of the course coming here. If I were Collins, I would throw it into neutral and just clutch it down the downhill section. Right here, I would throw it into neutral, let it coast down the hill. If there's in any way any danger of not being able to make it on fuel. Sounds like he's still under power though. He lifted a little bit though, going through the uphill jumps there. And now about to head into the paved section, the street course section. The home stretch here at Baja Rally. Mitchell Collins came into this race 14 points back out of the championship lead. All of his competitors fell outside of the top 10. Collins stood alone, has dominated the second half of this race out in front, and is going to make no doubts about it of who the champion is going to be here this season. Down through the street course section and headed for the start-finish line, Mitchell Collins. One more left-hand turn. He will see the checkered flag, and Mitchell Collins is going to win the season finale and the championship in the NRSL Reese's Rally Car Series. Brooke Allen en route to her best finish of the season, second place. It'll be her second top 5 on the year, third top 10. Now makes her way through the final section. And she will finish runner-up here today at Baja Rally. A great performance for the Citroën Xara. And another Citroën right behind her in Cole Deaver. He will get his best career finish in third place here today. Worked his way up into the top 10 and then into the top 5 in the final 3 laps of this race. And he'll be the final car to finish today on the podium. And then it will be another Citroën Xara with Carson Gum. Carson came into this race 8th in the point standings, not in the hunt for the championship, but he's going to get his third top 5, third top 10 of the season. He'll finish in 4th. And finishing out the top 5 is going to be the first Mitsubishi Lancer. 1 week ago, he won his first race of the season. Today, he follows it up with a top 5, 5th place for M McIntire. Kyle Mathews, a great run for him in that Ford Focus. He'll finish the day out in 6th position. Right behind him, a battle for 7th. Baker gets the spot over Johnny Gardner. 9th place is going to be Jonathan Zoerlein. He doesn't win the championship, but he does get points to finish out the year. And J Shelly will be the final driver to get points today, as he will finish in 10th. And 11th place, Alexander Rowe. He needed to finish in the top 10 to finish out the season with at least a 1 in the points column. He will not get any points for the entirety of this season. What a heartbreak. By 1 position, he misses out on getting points, at least to finish out the year. Mitchell Collins, though, is the winner and the champion. Don't go away. We'll show you full figure results in just a moment. standings are now official as the last car, Quinton Moore, crossed the start-finish line just moments ago. And so these are your official finishing results for the day here in the season finale of the Reese's Rally Car Series. Mitchell Collins, your race winner and your champion. We gave you your top 10. Rowe finished in 11th. Anderson there in 12th. Rodriguez in 13th. Dylan Young 14th. And Friesen in 15th. Where were the rest of the competitors? The only championship competitor to finish in the top 10 was the race winner, Mitchell Collins. Wade Brummer managed to finish the second highest of the championship competitors as he finished up in 18th place. Adam Garcia, he was the third highest finisher in 23rd. Derek Hamill was 26th. Oh, I'm sorry, Zoerlein was 9th. Zoerlein was 9th, so I apologize. He was the second highest. Third highest was Wade Brummer. Fourth highest was Adam Garcia. And Derek Hamill, boy, the wheels just fell apart on that train as he finished back in the 26th position. Came in the points leader and gained no points in this race with finishing outside of the top 10. And you look on down through the rest of the finishing results here, and just about everybody finished on the lead lap with the exception of T Wright and Benny Watson. They both sat on pit road for a couple of laps, and as a consequence, they finished in 36th and 37th. Maybe a little bit of a lackluster battle for the championship. Understandable, but that usually is what happens in these rally course races. And, boy, talk about a driver rising to the top when it mattered the most. With Mitchell Collins picking up his second win of the season and turning back all competitors to pick up the championship. So congratulations once again to Mitchell Collins on the victory and on the championship. Hope you guys enjoyed this race and hope you guys enjoyed this season. If you did, be sure you guys to like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We have shown you full finish results from today's race from Baja Rally. These are your official final point standings for the season. Mitchell Collins is the Season 4 Reese's Rally Car Series champion here in the NRSL. We will see you guys if we end up having another season of this. I don't know when it will be, but hope that you guys enjoyed the season, and I enjoyed bringing it to you. You've been watching a production of the SRA Offline Racing at its Best and a production of the NRSL. We will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in this season, and congratulations to Mitchell Collins on the championship.